Hey everyone, Brent Florica, the King's Librarian here. Welcome to Sketchbook B. In today's episode, I will be coloring another one of my Inktober pieces from 2019 that I call Two Ways. It was based on the prompt word bait and takes a lot of inspiration from a hymn called Two Ways, O Man, Before Thee Lie. Hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. Now, as I mentioned, the prompt word for this day was bait, and I decided to take a more spiritual tack with this one and use bait in the sense of all of the ways that Satan tries to pull us away from God in our lives. So I hope you enjoy that approach in this piece. And if you do enjoy the result today, please do consider leaving a like and help the channel grow. And also consider subscribing to the channel as well. And that way you don't miss out on any future content that I put out. So to convey what I wanted to convey properly in this piece, I had to make some very specific color choices. And so as I go along here, you'll see that come into play. On the right side of the piece, on the narrow way side of the piece, I'm trying to keep everything very natural looking with the vegetation, the mountains, the sky. I want everything to appear very natural and normal, forest greens, that kind of thing. But on the left side of the piece, there I really went crazy with all of the colors and tried to make things seem very artificial by comparison. And this is to portray a certain specific point, of course, that Satan's offerings for us are very artificial. He can't generate anything authentic like God can, and his promises to us are nothing more than counterfeits of what God offers. So that I tried to convey for the most part in the colors in this piece. So hopefully by this point, as the left side is getting filled in now, you can see all of the colors and the light and the noise and all of this that I've tried to portray here. And this is really where the bait aspect of things comes into play, because these are all of the things in life that act as a lure for us. You know, ease of living and pursuit of wealth, material things, selfish pleasures. These things all distract us and pull us away down this broad road and away from the peace and the fulfillment in a walk with God on the narrow path. At its heart, really, this piece is about perspective. You know, a person that finds themselves at this fork in the road that's pictured here has to make a choice. You know, the narrow way is less flashy, but it's real, it's authentic. And while the left side seems a lot more exciting and pleasurable, at its heart it's nothing more than a mirage, a counterfeit. Perspective looks beyond the now and looks to the ultimate end of this choice that's presented here. While the narrow way is more difficult for a time here on earth, ultimately it leads to a place of incredible joy and peace and fulfillment with God forever in heaven, as pictured here. The other side looks a lot easier and more fun right now, but what Satan doesn't mention to you and to me is that his way, while maybe exciting for a brief time here on earth, ultimately leads to an eternity of torment and death in hell. And I've tried to picture that by showing this pit in existence right behind this town on Broadway. And this is the reality that we face, this choice of which way to go. And that choice will always be up to us to make. Two ways, O man, before thee lie, that lead to just two places. One narrow, to the throne on high, that many a cross embraces. The other road is smooth and broad, but does not give the peace with God, and leads to utter ruin. I learned a lot of things as I was going through this piece. It really was a good one for me to develop my skills. In particular, I tried experimenting on this one with some pencil crayon over top of the Copics when I was done. And I've seen a lot of people do this and stuff, and it looks fantastic. I found it didn't really work for me so well, and I think the reason for that is because when I initially did it, I was a little too heavy with the ink work, and I wasn't really inking this piece thinking about the coloring coming after. And because of that, you know, a lot of the areas where I wanted to put down pencil crayon, there was already ink there and it didn't really work together very well. In some areas though, it was fairly effective. I did like the texture that it gave on the grass and the rocks and things like that. So I might go back to it a little bit in the future and experiment some more, but definitely if I'm gonna do that, I need to plan ahead at the inking stage and make sure that I'm not going too heavy with the ink work up front. Also, I was pretty happy with a few of the gradients that I stumbled across and just kind of created, especially the one for the flame sort of effect in the pit, the glow there. I really like that gradient of colors from yellow through to sort of an orangey red. And also the sky, I was pretty happy with the sky gradient as well, so something to kind of keep in my back pocket for future use. If you have any suggestions for tips or things that you think might help me in terms of pencil crayon with Copics and how those things can work together better, please let me know. I would love to hear from you and get some tips on how to do that better in the future. So real time, this took about 2 hours and 15 minutes to complete, and I used 58 different Copics for this, as well as about 10 different pencil crayons and a white pen as well for a couple of the highlights. And yeah, it was quite the endeavor. Definitely a step up from the Boldegar drawing I did in episode 1. So this one pushed me, and that's a good thing. So I was really happy with how it turned out, and even though it took a lot longer than the first one, I'm really pleased with the end result. Hope you are too. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, and hope you enjoy it. This piece will go up on my art store on Redbubble. I will link it in the description for you, and yeah, feel free to check that out, and all proceeds from any of those sales do go towards the King's Library series, my book series, and future content that will be on this channel as well. So do check that out if you feel so inclined. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining me at Sketchbook B. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed your time here. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on new episodes. Also, feel free to click on the links to check out my other content. That's all for now. See you next time.